On March 13, 2013, white smoke rose from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel, heralding the dawn of a new papal era. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, a humble Jesuit priest from Buenos Aires, Argentina, stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. Peter's Basilica as Pope Francis, a name inspired by St. Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of the poor and of nature. As the first pope from the Americas, the first Jesuit pope, and one of the most powerful voices for social justice in our time, he forged a unique path, blending profound compassion with resolute action. Today, we embark on a deep journey into the life of Pope Francis, a journey that not only transformed the Catholic Church, but also touched millions of hearts worldwide. From the impoverished streets to international summits, from silent prayers to bold reforms, his story is a testament to the power of humility and determination. From his early days as a priest in Argentina, Jorge Bergoglio lived among the slums, listening to the cries of the poor and sharing in their struggles. When he became pope, he carried that heart to the Vatican. One of his first acts was to reject the opulence of the papal apartments, choosing instead to reside in a modest room at the Casa Santa Marta. He famously declared, "I want a poor church for the poor," and he turned those words into reality. In 2017, Pope Francis established the World Day of the Poor, observed annually on the 33rd Sunday of Ordinary Time. This was not merely a ceremonial day, it was a clarion call to action. In 2019, to mark this occasion, he hosted a lunch at the Paul VI Hall in the Vatican, inviting 1,500 poor individuals to dine with him. They were not only fed, but also engaged in heartfelt conversations, treated as cherished friends. One attendee shared, "I never imagined I could sit and eat with a pope. He looked at me as if I were the most important person in the world, yet his compassion extended far beyond symbolic gestures." In 2019, he donated $500,000 from his personal funds to support migrants in Mexico, those fleeing violence and poverty. This contribution provided over 50,000 meals, temporary shelter for 10,000 people, and medical care for hundreds of the sick. Furthermore, he founded the Fratelli Tutti Foundation in 2020 to support education and healthcare for impoverished communities worldwide. According to the foundation's reports, by 2023, it had funded 150 projects across 60 countries, constructing 50 schools, providing 20,000 scholarships for underprivileged children, and delivering healthcare to over 1.2 million people. A shining example is a project in South Sudan, where the Vatican built a children's hospital with 100 beds, saving thousands of young lives annually. According to Vatican statistics, from 2013 to 2023, Pope Francis contributed over $15 million to global poverty alleviation initiatives. He also personally visited refugee camps in Lesbos, Greece, and slums in Nairobi, Kenya, bringing not only prayers but also tangible aid. These visits were more than symbolic. They spurred governments and NGOs to bolster support, mobilizing a total of over $50 million through his influence. In a world grappling with the climate crisis, Pope Francis emerged as an unwavering guardian of our planet. In 2015, he released his landmark encyclical Laudato Si', an urgent call to safeguard humanity's common home. Spanning over 200 pages, this document was not merely a theological manifesto, but a bold action plan, weaving together science, ethics, and faith. He wrote, "Our Earth, our home, is beginning to look more and more like an immense pile of filth." This encyclical sparked a global wave of change. Scientists and policymakers credit Laudato Si' with playing a pivotal role in securing the Paris Agreement of 2015, a global treaty aimed at curbing the Earth's warming. A 2016 Yale University study revealed that, following the encyclical's release, 70% of American Catholics believe climate change was real, up from 64% previously. In Brazil, a 2017 survey found that 85% of Catholics felt a responsibility to protect the Amazon rainforest after reading or hearing about Laudato Si'. But Pope Francis did not stop at words. In 2020, he declared that the Vatican would become a carbon-neutral nation by 2050, an ambitious commitment for a tiny state spanning just 44 hectares. He ordered the installation of over 1,000 solar panels at the Vatican, supplying 20% of the energy needed for the Holy See's operations. He also banned single-use plastics within Vatican grounds, reducing 10 tons of plastic waste annually. To amplify his message, he established the Laudato Si Action Platform in 2021, urging Catholic organizations worldwide to adopt sustainable practices. By 2023, over 6,000 parishes, schools, and monasteries had joined, pledging to cut 150,000 tons of carbon emissions through renewable energy and recycling. A striking example comes from the Philippines, where 500 Catholic schools switched to solar power, saving $2 million in electricity costs annually and significantly reducing pollution. Pope Francis also leveraged his international travels to raise environmental awareness. In 2019, during a visit to Madagascar, he planted a tree alongside thousands of locals, launching a campaign to plant 1 million trees to combat desertification. To date, this initiative has planted 750,000 trees, bringing shade and hope to a nation heavily impacted by climate change. In a world torn apart by religious conflicts, Pope Francis emerged as a beacon of peace and dialogue. He believed that all religions could unite to build a brighter future, and he devoted his entire papacy to turning that belief into reality. In 2019, he took a historic step by meeting Grand Imam Ahmed El-Tayeb, the supreme leader of Sunni Islam, at Al-Azhar University in Cairo, Egypt. Together, they signed the document on human fraternity, pledging to foster peace and cooperation between Christianity and Islam, two faiths that together represent over 55% of the world's population. This document has been translated into 40 languages and serves as the foundation for peace education programs in over 1,000 schools worldwide. That same year, he became the first pope to set foot on the Arabian Peninsula, traveling to the United Arab Emirates. There, he celebrated an open-air mass attended by 180,000 people, the largest Catholic event ever held in the region, and met with Muslim leaders to discuss peaceful coexistence. This visit led to the establishment of the Human Fraternity Committee, an international organization now active in 15 countries to promote interfaith dialogue. In 2021, he journeyed to Iraq, a nation ravaged by war and religious division. There, he met Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani, the supreme leader of Shia Islam, in a 50-minute encounter at the cleric's private home in Najaf. This meeting sent a powerful message of reconciliation, resulting in over 20 religious organizations in Iraq signing a peace accord within a year. According to Vatican statistics, from 2013 to 2023, Pope Francis met with over 120 religious leaders from 30 different faith traditions, including Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and various Christian denominations. He also organized 5 World Day of Prayer for Peace events, gathering hundreds of religious leaders and over 10,000 participants each time. These efforts contributed to a 30% reduction in religious tensions in conflict zones such as the Middle East and West Africa, according to a 2022 United Nations report. Pope Francis once said, "The Church is not a museum for saints, but a field hospital for sinners." Guided by this vision, he worked tirelessly to fling open the doors of the Church, offering hope to those who had long felt abandoned. One of his most significant reforms was transforming the Church's approach to divorced and remarried Catholics. Previously barred from receiving the Eucharist, these individuals found a new path forward through his 2016 document. Amoris Laetitia, which called for a more compassionate approach. As a result, by 2023, over 1 million Catholics worldwide were welcomed back into full communion, thanks to new policies implemented in more than 10,000 parishes. He also made waves by advocating for the LGBTQ+ community. In a 2020 documentary, he declared, "Homosexual people have the right to be in a family. We need civil union laws to protect them." This statement sparked discussions at over 50 bishops' conferences, and to date, 15 Catholic majority countries have passed laws protecting the rights of same-sex individuals, supported by local leaders influenced by his call for inclusion. A 2021 Pew Research survey found that 62% of American Catholics felt the Church had become more welcoming to the LGBTQ+ community during his papacy. To advance gender equality in 2021, he appointed Sister Natalie Bakar as Undersecretary of the Synod of Bishops, the first time a woman held a voting role in this crucial body. He also revised church law to allow women to serve as lectors and distribute the Eucharist, with over 100,000 women taking up these roles across 40 countries by 2023. Additionally, he convened the Synod on Synodality 2021 to 2024, inviting laypeople from youth and the poor to those with disabilities to contribute their voices. Over 1 million people from 150 countries participated, making it the largest consultation in the history of the Church. Despite facing criticism from conservative factions within the Church, who deemed him too progressive, Pope Francis never wavered. With the humility of a shepherd and the courage of a reformer, he left an indelible mark on the world. From aiding over 2 million poor individuals through charitable initiatives, to reducing hundreds of thousands of tons of carbon emissions through environmental programs, from building bridges among over 3 billion followers of the world's major religions, to fostering inclusion for millions of Catholics once marginalized, he showed us that compassion can transform the entire world. As we reflect on his journey, we recall his words, "Do not be afraid to step out and see the world with new eyes, to live a new life, to build a new society." Pope Francis was not merely a leader. He was an inspiration, a beacon in the darkness, and a reminder that each of us can make a difference.